Hello and welcome back to Asia Now. In this video, we'll talk about why the Philippines may not be the perfect place for you if you do not have patience. Today's comment is, I ain't got no goose with anything here in the Philippines apart from the fact nothing works. The internet is rubbish. Numerous attempts to get into my online banking, crashing app won't open, rubbish more calls and still rubbish. So I made a 2-hour trip to my bank to report a phone number change Saturday in the bank for 2 hours to speak to someone. Eventually, I told them I needed to change my number, gave them all the details. They then said they would call Manila and I had to go through it all again with her. I said, I'm in your bank now and I just gave you all this information, plus signatures, checks, thumbprints, checks, showed them my cards, statements, ID, etc. Blah, blah, blah. She said, I know, but I have to ask also. I said, so don't they trust the staff here then? Still, I had to go through it all again. After 10 minutes, I gave up and I went home. Really could not handle any more of all this necessary BS. Just to inform them I had changed my phone number. We have a name for people like this in the UK. It's called Jobsworth. Is it me or am I missing something here in the Peanut Philippines? All right, so this person is really frustrated with the process of things taking place a lot longer in the Philippines. I'm going to tell you guys my personal answers, my personal experiences for the past 5 years. But first, let's dive into the comment section, see what other people have to say about this comment. A snarky comment says, do you want some cheese without wine? All right, so, a lot of people don't like it when foreigners complain in the Philippines. I made a whole video about this entire topic earlier. One thing we have to realize coming from any country into the Philippines, it's not the same as back home. It's not like Canada, UK, or the US. Despite how advanced they might seem in the bank, but they might have procedures, processes that's taken decades or years to put in place. They can't simply go ahead and change everything because you might be in a hurry. Another person says, move to the big city. The internet is rubbish in many parts of rural UK as well. An excellent point. So if this guy had to drive 2 hours to get into town, it probably means that he lives on the outskirts of town, somewhere in the provinces. The Philippines got so many different islands and the connectivity between the islands isn't as great as a major landlocked country, for example. So the cell towers, and the internet reception may not be as great in the provinces. And like this guy mentioned, the same as the UK or rural area, or as in Canada. I've been in parts of Canada up north when I'm camping. I can't get cell reception either. So I can't expect to live in the bushes and the jungles and still get excellent 5G cell service. Another person responds by saying, actually, changing your phone number and your phone is a real hassle. And that's how scammers steal your identity and then your money. Yes, they have mastered the art of making it convoluted, only in the Philippines. I think this guy gave a little bit of mixed answers, but I think it's true because in the Philippines, in China, in India, in any country in the world, scammers have really gotten good at taking your identity, your phone number, sending and receiving messages, calls, all these things to get your money, basically. So the Philippines is ensuring that its citizens, its foreigners, whoever's in the country has protection from scammers getting their money and their identity. How many times have you received a text message, be like, I never applied for that. I don't have a package waiting for anything. So many scammers, where do they get their numbers from, right? Where do they get your number from? So I think the banks are just doing their due diligence to ensure to provide a multiple second or third step security. And the last comment says, okay, you had a bad day. Why are you sharing it with us? Yes, sometimes the internet sucks. I have 2 different internet services just in case one sucks. I've never had banking problems here, just banking fees. Have many different accounts, many different banks. I hate it takes so long for checks to clear, but we are in the Philippines. Oh, make friends with the bank manager. Then you can just make a phone call if you have any issues. Simple. I don't know about all of that, making friends with the bank manager, although it doesn't hurt to be friendly with the staff at the bank because it may expedite your actual service you need at the bank. But just like anywhere else in the world, there's certain things that I don't agree with, I don't have patience for. Even when I pay my credit card in Canada, it takes like 5-6 days, sometimes a week for my payment to go through. So it's frustrating, and same things can be happening within the banks in the Philippines. If you don't have patience, honestly, the Philippines will really irritate you, agitate you. I'm that kind of person. I don't have patience. When I first came to the Philippines, it really, really bothered me. Simple things that should, or what I thought should take only 10 minutes, 15 minutes will take 40 minutes, 45 minutes. But then over time, over experiences, I start to have like little tricks for myself. For example, I would never go banking on a Saturday like this guy. That's when it's the weekend. People have the day off, they go to the mall to do the banking, so try to go during the weekday if you can, you know? That's just one little tip. Another tip is don't go during rush hour, like after work. And like, you have to figure out how to do these things. And next time, maybe call ahead, email them. They have these, like, obviously the chat bots, ask them if there's an online service they can provide, and changing your number. There's always ways around it, but to lose your cool, lose your patience is definitely not something you want to get into the habit of in the Philippines. As mentioned earlier, the Philippines has so many different islands. There's only a couple major players when it comes to internet providers, so they probably have the monopoly on it, and customer service may not be at the top of the priority. They're still expanding, growing, so who knows how long it's going to take for them to meet your standards, let's say, of back home when it comes to internet speeds and all that. But you do have options. Another person mentioned having multiple lines, for example, for the internet, right? So SIM cards are extremely cheap. You can get weekly, monthly, actual plans with unlimited data, or 8 gigs, 10 gigs. Have multiple SIM cards if you have to. What's the big deal? You spend $2 or $3 to save so much time and hassle in your mind. It's definitely worth the price. Switch over your SIM, because if the service is not good one day with one, for example, Globe, right? If service is not good with Globe, go with True or a different kind of service in case that one offers better speeds at the moment. And lastly, my personal tip would be don't switch over bank accounts. Unless you're retired in the Philippines, unless you're staying for a very long time and making multiple large sums of transactions within a bank, then I would really not recommend having a bank account anyway, especially as a tourist, as a foreigner. If you're not a citizen, which I know 99.9999% of you guys aren't citizens or permanent residents, maybe you're staying there long term, still, you could keep your banking within your home country and just take money out as you need it. But then again, everybody's situation is different. That's just me. If you're coming anything less than 6 months, I would say, you know, take that little bit of a hit of the fees of the ATM. At least you don't have to worry about all these other kind of, like, you know, going to the bank and waiting around and making sure things clear and checks and Gcash and all this other stuff. You don't need to, because the fees, yeah, they might be high, but you can get yourself a credit card that has no annual fee, no foreign transaction fee. My card right now is Home Trust Visa, and I get a lot of those fees waived, you know? And another one I hear about is Charles Schwab in the US provides excellent foreign transaction fees, for example, right? So yeah, you take maybe, let's say, 1.5% hits on your actual transaction. But the good thing about credit cards, the exchange rate stays very close to the Google actual rate. So basically, you're not really losing that much money as if you were getting a transfer from your home bank account. Anyway, that's a lot to get into. Leave your comments down below. Share your stories about Philippines and your patience, and anything you want to talk about. If you take your time to write it, I'll take the time to respond. And if you enjoyed this video, take a quick second, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.